Holy crap, I'm starting 5 minutes late. But what are you going to do? Life gets in the way sometimes. Bitcoin 2024 has just finished up in Nashville. All kinds of things, interesting stuff came out of that. And as usual, we have tons of other things to do and talk about. And I found Cultured Thug. I thought I had lost that guy. He's over on Rumble, so you can find him there. Anyway, I will see you guys in 2 minutes. And we are back. We are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. It is, what is it, Monday, July 28th? I believe it's Monday, July the 28th, 2024. Man, there's such a ridiculous amount of stuff I have to talk about. Like even moments before the show, I'm still finding content. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta grab this video. I gotta grab that video. Tons and tons and tons of things going on and that I thought were interesting. And man, it's like, where to fucking even start? Like, where are we gonna fucking start? What are we gonna do? Everything Bitcoin has just happened in Nashville. So Bitcoin 2024 just kicked off, and it was quite a big deal. Trump was there, RFK was there, Senator Cynthia Lummis was there. All kinds of things are going on. You know, sitting here as a Bitcoiner, and when you realize 15 years ago, roughly, Bitcoin was literally worthless. It was free. You could just send an email and someone would send you 5 Bitcoins. And now, as of this show, I think we're sitting around mid 60s in the 66,000, something like that. In 15 years, we went from it's free, and then we went from it's it's only worth pennies, and so you use it to play online poker, to magic internet money, to it's only for drug dealers, only for terrorists, and now the president of the United States is attending Bitcoin conferences, and the vice president of the United States, the future vice president, is a Bitcoiner, holds Bitcoin. So that's a long fucking way to go in 15 years. And I don't think a lot of people appreciate that. When I say we're going to take over the fucking world, I'm not joking. There's nothing else has gone from zero to where we are as fast as Bitcoin has. I don't think people have fully wrapped their heads around. You just don't want to let the new ideas in, and that's fine because it doesn't make a difference. once you're starving and homeless, you'll think and do whatever you're told to think and do. If it will end your starvation and homelessness. So let's go like here. Let's go back to one of my favorite, absolute fucking favorite punching bags. Elon Musk, the Shabbos Goy of Shabbos Goy. Elon Musk's transgender daughter says he was not a supportive father. He was present only 10% of the time. So I don't know how many kids this guy has, but one of them got raped. And think about that. You're the richest man in the world, and one of your children got raped. And now that child thinks it's a girl, right? Born a boy, raped as a child, and now they think they're a girl. This is the guy who you think is going to create the future. And you know what? The people who we are looking to replace definitely love Elon Musk, and they love that type of future. And Elon Musk is picking a fight with Bitcoiners, and he's picking a fight with some of the wrong fucking guys. Our man in El Salvador, right, Nayib Bukele, right? Elon Musk responds to the Bitcoin El Salvador president Nayib Bukele's vital question. So, what question did Bukele ask? This is the question that Bukele asked. What is the West fighting for? Right? What is the purpose? What are we fighting for? What are we doing? What is the Western world, America being the crown jewel of the Western world? What the fuck are we doing? What's our grand purpose? Right? And Musk says civilization it should be used to raise consciousness and explore the universe. Like the purpose of civilization is to raise consciousness or whatever. Like that is the dumbest fucking answer. But you know, this little pipsqueak, who by the way, none of his children have been raped. He's married and he's married to one woman, and he has children that are all normal children. None of them have been raped. He's part of their life, you know, all the time, even though he's the president of a country with a lot of problems. Nayib Bukele says, "What the fuck are we doing? What is the purpose? What are we doing, guys?" And Elon Musk, you know, they sent. I don't know. They should at least write a fucking script for Elon Musk because he just says stupid shit. If you can't protect your own kids from being raped and thinking, "Oh, now I'm a girl," you really, you're not doing so good, kid. Not doing so good at all. What else do we got? Here's another Elon Musk thing. Elon Musk pushes back on the Optimus timeline, says Tesla's humanoid robot will hopefully be available for other companies by 2026. So yeah, that robot you saw that was folding a t-shirt, just folding a t-shirt, even though it was attached to a fucking wire that someone else was controlling it nearby with a keyboard. Yeah, that t-shirt folding robot, that's gonna, I don't know, help raise your consciousness, to give new purpose to the fucking to the West. You know, yeah, you can't even get that. No, you can't get the t-shirt folding robot. It's gonna be another 2 years at least another 2 years. So that's not going so good for him. And then what was the other one? What was the other bad? What was the other Elon Musk thing? Yeah, he's talking about the destruction of the dollar. So when somebody like Elon Musk says the dollar is in imminent peril, you know, you could pretty much ignore it. But it says, you know, Elon Musk issues $35 trillion bankruptcy warning as traders bet on a Donald Trump Bitcoin boom. Yeah, things about to get real fucking interesting because Bitcoin 2024 has been like fucking wild. It's crazy to think of the fucking things that they've been saying and doing. Senator Cynthia Lummis from Wyoming, a Bitcoiner who owns at least 3 full Bitcoins, She gave a speech. At first she was the first one to go to this thing. She was like, she's like a nobody, and all of a sudden, she's like the belle of the ball because she's built up her street cred by going there all the time and nobody goes there. This was her big idea. I applaud it. I don't think it's going to happen. U.S. Senator Lummis proposes that the United States buy 1 million bitcoins to reduce the national debt. The Wyoming senator brought a copy of her legislation to the stage at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. That's kind of fucking interesting, huh? Like a U.S. senator now says the U.S. federal government should buy 1 million bitcoins, even though the U.S. government technically holds about 250,000, 200,000 Bitcoin that it's confiscated from criminals. You now have a sitting senator saying we got to add Bitcoin to the treasury to manage this deficit. And I just like to reiterate that 15 years ago, this whole thing was a joke. That 5 or 6 years ago, that Bitcoin was magic internet money, and now you have a sitting senator saying we need to fucking buy, the U.S. federal government needs to buy 1 million Bitcoins in order to offset our deficit problems. That's kind of interesting, right? That is a long fucking way to go. Even the Mango Mussolini, which that's a good name for Trump, the Mango Mussolini, his statement, Trump pledges to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the planet during a speech at the largest Bitcoin conference. So let's just go to the Trump video. Watch him fucking, he just eats this shit up. He just absolutely fucking, it's just a short clip, 39 seconds, but he's in his element. He's got his fucking script, and the crowd fucking energy is working for him. And this is this is a clip of what he had to say in Nashville this weekend.
And to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done. If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. And that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me. You're going to be so happy.
Hey, I said, Trump was always good for Bitcoin when he was president. The first time, Bitcoin went from $650 to $12,000. And he didn't, I think he mentioned it once during this whole presidency, and then he ignored it. But this whole thing is much bigger, than I think a lot of people get. All of a sudden, this big emphasis on nuclear power and Bitcoin is a bigger fucking deal than you might think it is. Because we are, bottom line, it looks like we're really losing to the chinks. And I just saw this video. This is one of those, literally 2 minutes before I fucking, or I was supposed to hit the button, even though I hit the button 5 minutes late. Bad James, naughty James. Here's China versus the USA on energy production. And think of what Trump just said. America is going to be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower. Well, how are we going to do that exactly, sir? Because we have a little problem, and the problem is called China.
The story is rooted in a paper that was published out of China on their new high-temperature gas-cooled pebble bed reactor, which is a new type of nuclear reactor technology that shows that this thing cannot melt down, which is an amazing new technology. But I want to just take a step back and talk about general electricity production in the US versus China and where it's headed. Today, the US has roughly 1 terawatt of total electricity production capacity. China today has about 3 terawatts. By 2050, the US is projected to build out an additional terawatt, getting us to 2 terawatts of capacity. So we're going to double our total electricity output by 2050. China, meanwhile, has a plan to increase electricity production to 8.7 terawatts, so basically tripling between now and 2050. Just to give you a sense on the relative cost of electricity, China is about 7 to 9 cents a kilowatt hour. The US is 17 to 25 cents a kilowatt hour. So the US cost is about triple what it is in China to build out new electricity capacity. China has more electricity production, it's cheaper to make electricity, and it's cheaper to build new capacity, and they're building at an accelerated rate. This is why investing in and deregulating nuclear reactor technology in the United States to enable a competitive playing field with the United States and China in the decades ahead is so critical, because if we don't, China will beat the United States industrially, and we will eventually find ourselves in a greater point of conflict with respect to this rising power that is going to be driven by low-cost, highly abundant power, and the United States does not have that.
Okay, so that's this whole push for nuke this, nuke that, nukes, and the reason why is because all the bullshit is fucking done, right? The Chinese are about to eat our fucking lunch on the global stage, and we can't have that. So all of the environmentalists are going to get squashed. All of this shit, all this fucking, the naysayers, you're all going to get fucking squashed. Period. End of fucking story. I can't remember if I showed this last week, but 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania, right? They shut down one of their plants years ago because supposedly some radioactive steam got out. Well, you know what? They're going to fire it up. And since the Chinese have a nuclear reactor that is a different design that cannot melt down, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. So the future looks very, very different than you think it does. And what's driving all this, and even driving Trump's speech, is different than what you think it is. So I don't know how America maintains Bitcoin dominance with the money printer running like a lunatic in the fucking background, and the Chinese being able to produce electricity at 1/3 of our fucking 1/3 of our prices. And again, when you look at the third world, the developing world, how would you want to live? Do you want to live with the gay pride parades, or do you want to keep your culture and just have cheap electricity, right? Because the wrong culture will get you punished, right? This is Starbucks founder Howard Schultz. That's what kind of name is that? I went. Once that his company has reached a critical point in decline amidst global boycott. So the boycott of Starbucks, because of their love for Israel, is it's going well. It's actually going pretty fucking well. Even though everything involving everything involving money is really coming to the fore. I used to see this as a billboard, this fucking thing, driving into the Bronx, but this actually came up as a fucking ad on my phone. EBT cardholders pay $0 for 30 days, and then they get Amazon Prime for 50% off. So if you're on welfare, you still get Amazon packages delivered. Deep State wants to keep this fucking Ponzi going, and they will give you Amazon Prime for 50% off. I have to pay full price for it. Speaking of which, what did I do yesterday? Fucking yesterday was a shit day, rained all day. I kind of got cheated, but I did get cheated on work. But it's things I think are going to work out. I ended up going up to Easton, Massachusetts, or southeastern Massachusetts, after doing 3 local jobs, of which I only got paid for 1. So that's why I didn't stream. I was like, I was just going to do the 3 local jobs and get paid for 1, and they're like, oh, listen, here, go get this piece going up to the Boston agent. So I did that because I need the fiat. I still live off of fiat. I don't have UBI. The UBI, that Sam Altman envisions, their big study that they came out with, was they found out that the overall spending increased, but most of the UBI went to food and rent. So that's interesting. Like, gee whiz, what do people spend money on? Food and fucking rent. recipients experienced decreased financial stress, but that faded over time. So the financial stress returned because the money printer go burr, and you can print trillions and trillions of dollars, but you can't print 1 million pounds of hamburger. It's not that fucking easy. Not not as easy as you might think. And that is the critical part of understanding this, right? This is from a video game. I never played this video game. This is a popular meme, and that's why I picked this title for tonight's stream, a trade offer, right? I receive, you receive, and ultimately you have to decide, what are you going to trade for what? How much of your life, how much of your energy, how much of your skill, how much of your time, for what do you get in return? For what do you get in return? And the question is, do you want what you currently have, which is a situation getting worse and worse and worse? Or do you think, hey, maybe I should step away from the fucking sinking ship here and start doing something else? Because culture-wise, things are as fucked up. Like, it just couldn't get more fucked up. Driving up to fucking Massachusetts, there's actually a drive-through. There's a drive-through marijuana dispensary in Providence, Rhode Island. And there's a big sign, you can see it from the highway. It says drive-through dispensary. I'm like, it seems insane to me. Like, it seems just insane. And the world, as insane as you think it is only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. This I thought was hilarious. I love this fucking story. Dozens of illnesses across something states, it's partially blacked out, are now linked to a company's microdosing gummies and chocolate bars. So when the microdose magic mushroom gummies turned out to be poison. So can you imagine drug dealers? Can you imagine drug dealers selling you a product that damages your health? What? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? But if everybody's stoned out, they're going to the drive-through weed spot, they're taking their micro dose of mushroom fucking gummies, you can just recreate the world entirely. You can recreate the world entirely. And when I saw that, I fucking got so pissed. I'm so done with these fucking people. I am so done with these people. I saw this and I'm like, you have to understand, it's going to be nonstop, and everyone's going to be fucking tripping on mushrooms or fucking high on weed, and you are going to think you've completely lost your fucking mind, because it's just going to rearrange everything. This was the sickest fucking thing ever, right? The lover of men, the untold history of Abraham Lincoln explores the president's sexuality. You thought it was Abraham Lincoln? Oh, hell no. It's Gabraham Lincoln. So they're going to make Abraham Lincoln gay, right? They're going to make everyone gay. Everything is gay. It's always gay. They've always been gay, and it's all kind of gay. Now, why? Why would they do that? Well, let's go to our friend. We don't have enough black people on the show. We don't have enough black people on the show, so I have to bring some color. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. She had like online flirtation with Kanye, the one and only Candace Owens. I had this for like a long time on my phone, and I kind of forgot about it. And then the Gabraham Lincoln kind of fucking triggered it. And this is like so fucking just, it is so current year.
The claim is that Brigitte Macron lived as a man named Jean-Michel or John Michael for 30 years before becoming Brigitte. Number two, Brigitte Macron claims that Jean-Michel is her brother. Problem is that her brother's missing. A person named Jean-Michel existed for about 30 years and then just stopped existing. Suddenly, Brigitte Macron arrived and existed. Number three, there are no photos of Brigitte Macron in the first 30 years of her living. The press has tried to pass off a photo of her daughter in a desperate attempt to pretend that Brigitte existed as a child. Number four, the international press could not locate her alleged ex-husband that she allegedly had 3 children with. They similarly tried to pass off a fake picture of him as evidence that he existed. And that turned out to be a faculty photo from the school that Brigitte taught at. Brings us to number 5. If these claims are true, that would mean that Brigitte Macron is actually 78 years old, 8 years older than she claims to be.
So it's not just Big Mike, right? It's not just Big Mike. The world is run by sick fucking demented perverts that are put there by bankers, right? And when you see this, and when you see this picture, this is from COVID, but these 2 dudes are just out for a walk. Just 2 French bros, probably heading down to the fucking bistro to have some crunchy French bread and a nice fucking dry Bordeaux. So yeah, 2 dudes, you know, and then when you understand that, this picture makes so much more sense. This went around Twitter back in the day. There's Macron hanging out with, you know, some very, very gay Africans. So now you know why France is as fucked up as it is, right? Macron was the boy lover of that dude who became a transgender, who became the Big Mike of France. And, you know, I was like, fucking, I said, okay, let me grab that, let me do this. And I went to look at something on Google, some news on Google, again, right before the show. And then I saw this. I saw the news item about Melinda Gates, right? Bill Gates is supposedly his fucking wife, but does that really look like a chick to you? Does that 100% look like a chick to you? Because I'm thinking the answer is no. You know what I mean? You look at that and you're like, you know, that's very fucking weird. And so I zoomed in a bit closer and I thought, that's a fucking guy. Like, I don't think a woman's neck looks like that. You know what I mean? I don't think a woman's neck looks like that. Again, that's supposed to be Bill Gates' ex-wife. Why do you want to live in this world? Right? I have a trade offer for you. I have a trade offer. Here is a trade offer. Okay? Stop using their money. Participate in a different economic system, which will create an entirely different world. Different incentives, different rewards, a different fucking world. One, you don't have sick, degenerate freaks leading fucking countries and people rewriting fucking history so that Abraham Lincoln becomes Gabraham Lincoln. You fucking kidding me? Like, what? Why would you do this? Why would you want to do this? It's just dumb. But people are going to do dumb stuff, and the expectations of what's going to happen are wrong. So this was something to get back on track. Mt. Gox Bitcoin holders unexpectedly refused to sell. What is that? Way back in the day, there was a Bitcoin exchange called Mt. Gox in Japan. It got hacked in 2011. Everybody lost their Bitcoin. They somehow got it all back, figured out who it all belongs to. It went to the courts, and now all those people that had Bitcoin in 2011, when it was like fucking $10, $15, $20 a Bitcoin, are now getting their Bitcoin back at $66,000. So a lot of them are dumping it, but not as much as they thought. Not quite as much as they thought. Because some people have realized that they've become rich. The enforced patience they've had when they were doing their fucking online poker shit back in 2011, 2010, 2011, playing online poker with these magical Bitcoins that they probably got fucking 12 for $1. Now they got 20, 30, 50, 100 Bitcoins in there. Each one's worth $65,000, $67,000. Some people are going to go nuts and just cash out, because they're gamblers and they're going to lose the money. But other ones are like, holy crap, I'm rich now. And things have changed. Things have changed. But the more things change, the more things they stay the same. I remember, I want to show you real quick. Yeah, let's show real quick. Remember this chick from last week talking about Prime Minister Olof Palme, just the Swedish broad.
Two politicians in Sweden that was not afraid to criticize Israel ended up being. The first one was Sweden's former Prime Minister Olof Palme. He ended up being shot to death in the streets of Stockholm. Prior to his death, he had been openly criticizing apartheid states, such as the one in South Africa and in Israel. He had even been to a refugee camp in Lebanon and...
Okay, so woman saying that Olof Palme, the former Prime Minister of Sweden, was shot to death in Stockholm because he criticized Israel, and then another woman just got stabbed to death in a mall because of that. Well, whom else opposed the chosen people, and things went against them? Well, a dude from Babylonia called Saddam Hussein al-Chuki did, and here's a video. It's in Arabic with subtitles, but very, very interesting that this happened shortly before we invaded.
على العرب أن يصحوا، عليهم أن يصحوا، كافي يقبلون إهانات من أمريكا ومن الصهيونية. العمل اللي يصير ضد شعبنا في فلسطين هو علينا كلنا، على كل واحد من عندنا، على كل عربي، ضد كل عربي، وإهانة لكل عربي يقبل بيها. إسرائيل تقبل له العرب وصير لهم وقفة حقيقية لأسابيع. تتحمل إسرائيل؟ والله ما تتحمل أسابيع.
So the oil and the gold were just, those were extras. What I don't know how well you can read the screen, but Saddam Hussein is saying America and the Zionists, are insulting the entire Arab world. The way they treat the Palestinian people is horrible. If the entire Arab world got together and made a strong stance, Israel wouldn't last more than a few weeks. And then guess what? You know what? He's got nukes, he's got this, he's got that, and we got to go in there and we got to take him out. So it had nothing to do with WMD. It didn't even have anything to do with selling fucking oil for euros. He had an idea that he could unite the Arab world against Israel, and guess what? The number one attack dog in the fucking world, Team USA, came in and fixed his fucking wagon. There was another country up until recently. Also, we had an issue with because of the crazy leadership. And this next clip is in Spanish. Let's take a quick trip down to Venezuela.
Ahora, fíjense ustedes, la oposición venezolana no ha dicho ni nada contra Israel. No, que Israel financia a la oposición venezolana, financia la contrarrevolución. Incluso hay grupos de terroristas israelíes del Mossad que andan detrás de mí, tratando de matarme. Tratando de matarme. Esa es una de las amenazas que tenemos nosotros. Solo que los tenemos controlados. Sabemos dónde se mueven en las islas del Caribe. Tenemos muchos amigos en todas partes, pues. Y ellos no son invisibles. No son el hombre invisible. Y son torpes también, la mayor parte de las veces. Están acostumbrados a pelear contra indefensos como esta expedición humanitaria. A medianoche les cayeron en helicóptero, ráfagas de ametralladora, una gente que estaba durmiendo, seguramente la mayoría, en aguas internacionales. Es un crimen de guerra. ¿Dónde está la Corte Penal Internacional? ¿Dónde están las Naciones Unidas? ¿Dónde está la justicia en este mundo, por el amor de Dios? ¿Dónde está la justicia en este mundo?
Hugo Chavez, he died of cancer, but yeah, he said the Mossad was out to kill him, but the Venezuelan security forces got him under control, and you know what they're doing in Palestine is an international crime, blah 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 blah. And we were like practically gearing up to go to war against fucking Venezuela, and we even did a couple of false flag things down there. There was a former Green Beret and a couple other guys that got caught running around in Venezuela, and they were. I remember they were to put on display, like the Venezuelans, you know, had them kneeling with their hands behind their fucking back, and it was whoever sent them down there, whatever fucking division of gay CIA men, gay CIA fucking officers, sent the wrong people to do the wrong job the wrong fucking way. And we ended up getting, America got egg on its face for attempting a coup with that guy, what was his name, Guidada or something like that, who amazingly used to get Bitcoin donations. I don't know if you know that. And then lastly, and this one was another, this is just the endless, like, the reason why this is so fucking nuts is because, you know, when you, I present this as further evidence that single point of failure systems, a strong leader, you know, somebody who's going to lead us against this and that, that method has been tried multiple times and failed multiple times. And you don't want to be in a position, a high profile position of criticizing these people, because shit's going to go bad for you, including, and I never understood the obsession over this, the fucking years long obsession over this. Now looking back, it all looks entirely fucking different again. Here's 41 seconds about a little princess.
And I have to say, my personal opinion, I think, yes, they did intend to at least seriously injure or kill her. And it's not just about the fact that, was she pregnant, wasn't she? We'll never know, because they embalmed her against all French law so quickly. And all the other speculative things you see in the press. It's also the fact that it was reported that she was being a great success in the landmine campaign that she was running. Yes. But also, she was about to go into campaigning on the behalf of the Palestinians. Now, you can imagine someone of Princess Diana's profile doing that. They would not have tolerated it. They could not have dealt with that. So I think that's why she was taken out.
Yeah, so Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, was about to take up the Palestinian cause, and then, you know, somebody chased her and the bodyguards, put her in a high-speed chase and a car crash, and that was that. So yeah, you really, this direct confrontation thing is a real bad fucking idea. The single point of failure concept has failed and failed and failed and failed and failed again and failed again and failed again and failed again. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? This one I'll show. This is a brief video. I showed this last week, but I want to make a point to somebody. The guys like fucking Judas Fly-Chai, who's like, Israel's gonna get these guys. Notice that Judas Fly-Chai doesn't leave the safety of Los Angeles to go volunteer for the idea. I don't know if you noticed. He's gonna, you know, he's not gonna put down the bong and pick up a fucking rifle. He's just gonna cheer from the safety of the California hills. But part of this video you've seen before, part of this is new, and I want you to take a look at this, and I got some thoughts on the type of people who do this shit.
100 مرة حكينا ما حدش يصوب دباته على باب البيت. الناس فعلا
Did you fucking see that? Think about what it takes you're going to video yourself running underneath the turret of a tank, holding a fucking bomb, right? And you're going to fucking throw that bomb underneath the tank and then run back in the building before the fucking thing goes off. That is a level of fucking courage that I guarantee that Judas Fleischheit does not have. And the guys who are doing that, I mean, they can be killed. Don't get me wrong. We can kill them. We could send fucking Green Berets or the SEALs or the Delta or whatever, fucking Marines. We could, Army Rangers. Those guys can be killed. Absolutely, they can be killed. But you can't scare them, right? When Donald Trump says, you better give back our hostages or else we're going to do what? The dude that's willing to fucking grab an explosive in one hand and his cell phone in the other and go, Mahmoud, hold my shawarma. I'll be right back, because I don't drink beer. Hold my shawarma and run out there and blow up a fucking tank and capture the whole thing on the cell phone fucking video. That's a guy you can kill. You can definitely kill him, but you can't scare these fucking people. And this isn't something that happened overnight. This is 75 years of fucking abuse and generations of people, taking it, and now they're not taking it anymore. And it's shit's about to get real fucking interesting. Shit's about to get real fucking interesting because, like I said, you can't scare these fucking guys. You cannot scare these people. So, and I don't think they're in the mood to fucking negotiate. I really don't think they're in the mood to negotiate. Because you got people like this. Yeah, this was I saw this. One of the pieces I brought up to fucking the Boston agent was going to this very place. Here's the two-tiered reality of America, a really fucking obvious two-tiered reality that just fucking made me laugh.
Like right now on Nantucket, they have closed the beaches because they don't want people getting impaled by shards of fiberglass.
Pieces of broken wind turbine in the water and on the beach. Nantucket's harbor master shutting down all south-facing beaches.
Each one of these blades is longer than a football field. And if they are snapping in half and sending shards of debris in all directions, that is extremely unsafe. People should really start asking themselves, what if there's a hurricane? What happens then? Do many blades break? What happens? And who's responsible for that? There are multiple projects planned of hundreds of turbines combined. Hundreds of turbines. There's probably going to be like 1,000 turbines in that block with blades longer than a football field.
So amazingly, Nantucket Island, which is right next to Martha's Vineyard, where Obama lives, when the fiberglass wind blades break and ruin the beaches for the 1%ers that live in Nantucket, that shit gets shut down right away, right? All of a sudden, this woman's like, hey, this is not such a good idea. Meanwhile, the Chinese are building 8 fucking nuclear reactors with a new design that can never fucking melt down. Yeah, who's going to win this one? You know what I mean? When American leadership, and it's not American leadership because we could do better, but when the grifters have figured out this shitty fucking way to do wind power, well, the Chinese are doing nuclear power. Yeah, the future's not going to look quite the way you fucking think it's going to look. And the problems out there are going to be much, much harder to solve than people think. And Donald Trump and all the rest, Judas Fleischheit, face person missing guy, I was just talking about you. It's like I summoned you somehow. It's like you're like the Candyman of the internet. I mentioned you, and then you appeared. That is absolutely amazing. But yeah, the rich people, you spoil their fucking beaches on Nantucket Island. You can't. We're not having this. You fucking shut that shit down. And the federal government shut that shit down like in 2 fucking seconds. So good luck to the people of Nantucket. Well, the poor people, if their beaches get fucked up, we don't care. But we can't. One mustn't have muffy Muffy and George's, little darlings, they have to practice their windsurf. But yeah, there's tons of fucking shit going on that's just so indicative of there's big avoidable problems that we're not fucking avoiding. And with a challenger like China, even what's his name? Who's the fucking dumb fuck? I got video of Bill Maher. Here's in terms of the challenge of China, like how big China is, how much China is in the head of the Jews. And I don't mean Jews like Judas Fly-Chai, because the only thing that's in his head is marijuana smoke. Tread that green lobby spent a decade plus getting hooks into DC. They won't correct course. Well, they will by Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. They'll shut that shit down. Everyone else, they're doing Euro for Jersey. They'll destroy fucking Jersey and every other beach that fucking nobody's go to. Well, get off, Larry, get off. But for the elites that party on Nantucket Island every year, they're not going to have their beaches. They're just not. That shit will get fixed like fucking pronto. And listen, I see fucking projects where there's like a big like balloon. Think of like you think of like a balloon shaped like a fucking onion, right? Think of like a large onion dome on both ends, and you anchor it to the floor of the ocean. And as the waves go up and down, basically inside that big balloon is an electrical generator. You know what I mean? And the waves go up and down. This thing just bobs on the ocean. It's a friendly orange fucking thing. You can spot it from 10 miles away. Nothing to fucking break off. I've shown other fucking systems where that are shore-based systems that, again, move with the fucking tide. There's 100 ways to fucking make electricity off this. But, there's a group of people making a shit ton of money off these crappy fucking wind turbines. And it's the worst fucking idea. It's the worst technology, and it's going to cost a gazillion dollars to fix. And in the meantime, the fucking chinks are going to literally eat our lunch. These chopstick jockeys are going to eat our lunch. And that's going to have some negative consequences. But I would hope that we could just kind of quietly collapse and not have to duke it out with the fucking with the slant eyes. But you never know. We might have to do that. But when I say that this is in the minds of the Jews, it's in the minds of Hollywood. Here's the least funny comedian. Well, I think Ellen DeGeneres probably wins that contest. But amongst men, and I remember this guy from the fucking 80s. This guy was never fucking funny, but he's still famous, or he was famous for a while. Fucking Bill Maher, he's talking about USA versus China. This is how deep it's gotten into their heads.
China sees a problem, and they fix it. They build a dam. We debate what to rename it. That's why their airports look like this, and ours look like this. In San Francisco, it took 10 years just to get 2 bus lines through environmental review. The Big Dig, a tunnel in Boston, took 16 years. China once put up a 57-story skyscraper in 19 days. They demolished and rebuilt the San Yuan Bridge in Beijing in 43 hours. We binge watch, they binge build. When COVID hit Wuhan, the city built a quarantine center with 4,000 rooms in 10 days, and they barely had to use it because they quickly arrested the spread of the disease. They were back to throwing raves in swimming pools while we were stuck at home surfing the dark web for black market Charmin. We're not losing to China. We lost.
So that's gotten into their heads. It's something of an unfair comparison because China had nothing. They were fucking 100 years behind everyone else. So it's relatively easy to build it out, and they have an enormous labor force, blah, 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 blah. But the point is well taken. They can get things done, and we can't get things done for a number of reasons. To power one fart fan in Obama's pool house. But you missed my fucking what's his name? The Macron. What's the guy's Macron's first name in France? What's that guy's name? Anyway, the president of France's wife is actually was a man and is fucking 10 years older than this guy, Emmanuel, like Emmanuel Macron. You remember this? Remember this? Like hanging out with the African brothers. And this is Macron with his. That's, you think it's his wife? That used to be a dude. That used to be a dude. The bottom line, Candace Owen brought us that. And then I started doing crazy shit, like looking at pictures of fucking Melinda Gates. This is Bill Gates' wife. Are you sure that's a woman? Like, because I don't think that that's a woman. I'm looking at the neck and I'm going, I don't think that's a girl. You know, I don't think that's a girl. Went too far down the rabbit hole with this. Why? Because I saw that this fucking, where is it? Where's my fucking, yeah, I saw this fucking, they've remade Abraham Lincoln as a homo. He's not Abraham Lincoln. He's Gabraham Lincoln. Go figure. Go figure. They're just going to rewrite everything and they're going to put you on fucking shrooms and a bunch of other fucking shit, and you're not going to know what's real and what's not fucking real. And then you're going to be fucked. And then you're going to be so well and truly fucked. But if you have a specific goal, like I do, like, hey, let's destroy central banking. You know what? Come on, guys, let's destroy central banking. That is a good idea. And the reason why is because this, and I wonder fucking sometimes where the ideas I have come from, because they just pop up in my head. It's just something I learned 100 years ago. This movie, I'm going to show you, you're going to love this. It's a 90-second clip, 1 minute, 29 seconds. This, I remember seeing this on TV when I was a kid, and I thought it was like the Three Musketeers or something like that. I thought it was going to be like a movie like that, these old black and white movies that used to show when there was only like 5 channels. You had like ABC, CBS, and NBC, and in New York you had Channel 9, Channel 5, and like 6, I guess. Channel 5, 9, and 11. And this was like Channel 5 and Channel 9 and Channel 11 would have the cheapest old fucking movies that they would endlessly replay. And I actually saw this entire thing, and somebody clipped it, and it got into my feed on Instagram. And it is so perfectly encapsulates everything I'm trying to say that I should just run this clip on a fucking loop. God, this is fucking hilarious. Here, take a look.
Work and strive for money. Money is power. Money is the only weapon that the Jew has to defend himself with. Oh, mother!
Come, you must speak with you. All of you.
Come closer. Much money is lost through sending gold by coach from one country to another. In times of war, it is seized by the enemy. In times of peace, by thieves. You are 5 brothers. I want you each to start a banking business in a different country. One to go and open a house in Paris, one in Vienna, one in London. Choose the most important centers. In your day, there will be many wars in Europe. And nations that have money to transport will come to the Rothschilds because it will be safe. You must stand by one another. No one brother must be allowed to fail while another brother succeeds. Your 5 banking houses may cover Europe, but you will be one firm, one family, the Rothschilds, who work always together.
I swear to God, they had that on TV when I was a kid. You know, and you're like, hey, James, where do you get this? I don't know. Maybe I got the memory of what I saw that movie when I was fucking 9, just fucking has come out in a slightly different fashion. it makes me wonder. It truly makes me wonder, but it's absolutely fucking great. Great bit of fucking video. And I put one of these like a USB fucking memory sticks to clean up my phone because my phone was getting slowing down. These fucking things are awesome. Like $10. I took everything I wanted off my phone, and I used maybe like less than 1% of it. So I could save a lot of clips like that when I saved that one, because all this stuff is going to get scrubbed. And I think of so many things over the years that I saw that I wish I still had. I was like, fuck, I wish I would have grabbed that video. I wish I would have grabbed this video. And, but I didn't, you know what I mean? And then you never see it again, right? You'll never ever find it again because they scrub it. It's like the pictures of the fucking chimney at Auschwitz. You can't see that. You used to be able to see the chimney coming out of the fucking parking lot. Now you can't see that. That you search for it, you won't see it. You won't find it anywhere because they have bots or some sort of computer program that fucking goes and scrubs all that stuff. So, and I don't want that stuff to be scrubbed. So, what else do we got? This was, here's one of my fucking favorites. I'm gonna remind you of this over and over again. MMA is the key to fucking power in the future. So this is that guy Dana White. Never again. Dana White lowers the fighter bonuses after nobody fought any harder at UFC 304. Whether you followed it or you didn't follow it, it was a really good night for white fighters. I'm going to show you two clips. The first one is short, 9 seconds. This is a guy, an American dude, black dude. I think his name was T.F. Green or something like that. Leroy Green, I don't know what the fuck his name was. He legally changed his name to King Green before this match. This match happened in England. It was in London, and this wasn't the main fight of the night, but it was maybe the co-main event. He was up against a blonde-haired kid called Paddy Pimblett, who's known as a scoozer, something like that. It's like it means like some blue-collar bum from Liverpool or something like that, who were known to be combative and fight. So, but this is King Green entering the ring or entering the octagon. Take a fucking look at this shit. This whole idea. Listen, the black dudes are way too into showboating. They're way too into showboating. And this is not like the fucking 70s. This is not like the past. The MMA bros, these guys don't get to the top without knowing how to fight, and all this dumb shit that they do. You know, and I realize that they're gonna try and sell it, and they're gonna have a persona and make it interesting and whatever, like to pump up their popularity so they get the chance of the title fight and chance at money. But you can see the guy, the head of the UFC, even though he sold it to China, has just lowered the fighter bonuses. Anyway, this is round one. It's very short. Paddy Pimblett versus King Green. This is how it went. He entered like a king and he left like a peasant. So I don't know why he shot from takedown and while it was still dry, meaning they weren't sweaty. And that's a good time to fucking get a grip on somebody's neck, even with your fucking legs. And the kid just choked him out and left and did an armbar to boot. So I think he might have fucking broke or damaged his fucking elbow joint in the process. So in 1 minute, 10 seconds of the first round, there was another fight with another white guy from England named Tom Aspinall against, I don't know if it was an English black guy or an American black guy, but he also finished in the first round. So bad night for melanin enhanced fighters. And this is not the narrative that they want, you know. The narrative that they want when you have Big Mike in the White House and Macron's wife is his husband, who was his gay lover fucking 1,000 years ago. Like, that's the world they want. They want Abraham Lincoln. They don't want normal looking fucking white guys winning anything ever, right? It's all about their demented, fucking sick fucking world. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I mentioned this on the intro. Cultured Thug is still around on the, I didn't know where it was on the internet. I just found him the other day. If there's a website called Rumble, RUMBL, which is like a video hosting site, and you can live stream and do stuff. And you can find Cultured Thug on Rumble. Just go to rumble.com, Google Rumble. They got a search bar. You go in the search bar, you put in Cultured Thug, you can find his channel, and he's doing some anti-Semitism, I believe. I don't think I'm going too far out to say that he's doing some anti-Semitism. But there are many anti-Semitisms happening all over the place, and primarily because people want to start shit. And aside from the Hold My Shawarma guy, in Lebanon, Israel lost a war some years back, and they've been threatening Lebanon again. And to make my point, or to reiterate my point about this, the level of sophistication of the propaganda videos for the bad guys is way higher than you think. And to me, it indicates a confidence level that I don't know how well it's justified, but I think it might really be justified. This is like a Lebanon fuck around and find out. This is the Lebanese telling their neighbors in Tel Aviv, fuck around and find out.
إذا جاءت دباباتكم إلى لبنان وإلى جنوب لبنان لن تعانوا من نقص في الدبابات لأنه لن تبقى لكم دبابات. دبابات.
So a couple things about that video. My understanding is Israeli armor or tanks kind of carry the day, at least in their mind. It's a big thing that they're afraid of over there. But in Lebanon, there's a lot of hills and a lot of little valleys, which are bad for tanks and good for anti-tank stuff. And if you noticed, when they showed them firing the fucking missiles, the missiles were landing on top of the tanks, which is always the weakest part of the armor. So, and the Lebanese are broadcasting like, hey, we know where to hit you. And also, here's anybody, I don't know what the specific anti-tank weapons they have, which are almost certainly manufactured by China, that they get from the Chinese. but they're very clearly saying, you send your tanks to fucking Lebanon, we're going to kill every last one of them. So fuck around and find out on a really, really bold. And again, that video, you know, you see all the dudes in the dark and they're chanting at the top of their lungs. They're rolling the fucking nice orderly lines. They're screaming out whatever they're screaming out. And like I said about the solo dude who fucking blew up the tank in the other video, the video I showed last week, you can kill these guys. It's not like they can't be killed. You know what I mean? Anybody can be killed. But you're never going to scare these guys. Like there's nothing, you're not going to intimidate them. They are locked and loaded, and you got a fucking fight on your hands that I don't think that they can fucking win. I really don't think that they can win. Tread that. I kind of like this timeline now, James. The white man has to regain his position in the Western world. Will it make us earn respect again? Well, you can earn some money. It's what everybody doesn't get. And I haven't talked to Culture Thug. I'm hoping to stream with him. He streams Fridays at 6 p.m. Western time, which would be 9 p.m. East, where I am on the East Coast. So I'm looking to hook up with him and have some interesting combos, challenge some of his assumptions. He's like super pro-fascist. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But at the end of the day, who's going to clean the toilets in the ethno state? You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to make it worth somebody's while to do the ugly, hard, disgusting things? And if your worldview is, well, I'm going to be the dude, I'm going to be the architect, I have this plan here, this beautiful plan, it's called fascism, and it's going to rearrange everything, and it's going to be so much better than the sucky Jew world. Now you over there, you go dig ditches in the hot sun, you go clean public toilets, you go fucking work in the fucking snow, while I sit here and pat myself in the back. That's not going to work out real well. Oh, and by the way, none of you are going to get that much money. You know, you're all going to get fucking subsistence level. Like, do you really think you're going to, do you think that's going to work? Do you think people, like, what makes you think? And I know the people watching this Tread that you never fucking, listen, you never picked up a fucking shovel in your fucking life, much less in the fucking heat of the fucking day, you know, and did fucking hard shit. You never fucking did that. How are you going to convince other people to do that with your rah-rah bullshit? Yeah, the Jews suck. Everybody knows the Jews suck. But, you know, you have to make it worth someone's while. You have to incentivize that behavior. How are you going to do that? Are you going to sit there, try to hold this question in your mind? Try for fucking 5 seconds to hold this question in your mind. The people who print the green pieces of paper, right, control everything. But they're going to let you take over their system using their green pieces of paper to kick them out of the country and remove them from fucking power. What do you think the chances of that happening? Like, really think that through. I'm going to give you every fucking thing you need to overthrow my fucking government and kick me out forever and ever. What do you think the chances of that happening are? Because anybody who even becomes fucking close to fucking kill you, right, if you openly criticize them, if you challenge their power, they'll bribe the guy to fucking flip, or they'll shut off his bank account and they'll shut off all your bank accounts, and you'll all die starving and fucking homeless, and they will stay on top. There's no way within the existing system that is created by them that you're going to overthrow them. It just isn't going to happen. It has never happened historically, and it's not going to happen now. So your idea, I've said this before, your ideology is shit. All your ideas suck cock. Your ideas suck more cock than Abraham Lincoln, right? Nobody fucking cares. Pay me to do shit and I'll fucking do it, right? And you can sit in a fucking air-conditioned room while other guys go fucking pave the roads that are gonna fucking, that the trucks will come out on from the fucking farms to give you the fucking food to feed your fat, worthless fucking ass. How are you gonna fucking motivate people to do shit? How are you gonna make them do the hard fucking disgusting things? How is that going to happen? Oh, we're going to issue different pieces of paper, and instead of pictures of Abraham Lincoln, we're going to have a picture of Hitler and Mussolini on it. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody gives a shit whose picture's on the stupid fucking bill. But will it put a roof over my head? Will it feed my fucking wife and kids? Will it give me a decent fucking lifestyle? The reason why China is fucking booming is because they were coming from nothing. They were coming from absolutely nothing. So it's pretty easy to build from that, right? But we could compete with them if the people in charge of America were willing to fucking pay you to do shit. But they just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. It's about extracting as much fucking value as you can up to the fucking top and fuck everyone at the bottom. And that will work until it stops working, you know? And when it stops working, that's when the whole thing falls over. And you can ascribe this reason to that or that reason to that, but when the money fucking dies, people go crazy and entire civilizations collapse. That's always been the way it's been everywhere at all fucking times. And to view recent history as anything other than central bankers just slowly taking over the entire planet is to be delusional, man. And the reason why China is a threat is because here's a perfect video. This video is a perfect example of why China is a threat to the United States. 53 seconds.
You know, construction for the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which is 1.6 miles long, when it was built in 1977, was $141 million, about $740 million in today's dollars. Today, they're estimating to repair, you know, that's the bridge that collapsed in Baltimore. They're saying it's going to cost, you know, $2 billion or more to repair that bridge now, you know, 40 years later. California's bullet train project in 2008 was supposed to cost $40 billion. We're 15 years into this thing. We've spent $18 billion. They're now asking for $140 billion total to build a 171-mile track. That's a billion a mile. That's $1 billion a mile. Let me just tell you this other fact. China just spent $300 billion to build 16,000 miles of high-speed rail. They're spending $18 million a mile. That's 2% of the cost of the California high-speed rail system. 2% per mile. We are 50 times more expensive than China.
You understand now why the Chinese have such a fucking enormous advantage over us? There's so many people rent seeking that we can't get anything done at any price. You could print a lot more money, but if it's costing American high-speed rail $1 billion with a B, $1 billion for 1 mile of fucking track, and the chinks are doing it for $18 million a mile, how are you going to win? How can you compete against? You're not competing, right? But the people at the top and all the regulators and all this fucking other shit, everybody's extracting a ton of fucking wealth from this, right? And nothing's getting done. The project isn't getting done, but the project in the mind of the California high-speed rail people is pad my fucking bank account. You know what I mean? And the Chinese are like, no, we need a railroad track to go from here to there quickly for whatever fucking reason. They have a goal and they're working to achieve that goal. And you are just looking to do nothing. Well, somebody, you know, just give me the fucking money and I'm going to stamp papers all day or do something pointless. You know what I mean? Somebody has to stamp papers. There has to be a certain amount of that. But how are you going to win when they can beat us by spending 2% of what we fucking spend? That's why when Trump says crypto is going to be made in America, blah, 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 it's because the Chinese already have 3 times the electrical power generation capacity that we have. Say, well, who gives a shit? Well, when it comes to mining Bitcoin, you need a lot of fucking electricity, okay? And America doesn't have it. China does, you know? And that's a very, very, very big fucking deal. How do we get ourselves out of this hole when everybody's playing with fucking wind turbines off the fucking beach and the fucking chinks are building nuclear power plants at 6 or 8 new plants per year? Do the math, right? Which is not sexy and exciting, means they're going to fucking win. And that's going to cause us a massive problem. And then we've got this, right? And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. because I don't, I don't play fucking armchair spy master anymore. I don't play fucking armchair general. Like the Cold War was a fucking hoax. It's all bullshit. But here's the reality of what's going to continue to happen in the Middle East, between Israel and its fucking neighbors, and how it's conceivable to me sitting here right now that this could drag the entire American empire under. This is the fucking sinkhole out of which we will never fucking escape. 1 minute and 17 seconds. I'll talk to you on the other end of it.
Very possibly, according to our military analyst, the Yemenis can target Israel's fuel tanks in Haifa, the ones that we saw in the Hezbollah video, to the fuel tanks in Ashkelon. And then there are 2 major power plants near these as well. Okay, but if Yemen wants to deliver a visceral blow to Israel, they will target Israel's gas platforms. There's 3 of them, Karish, Tamar, and the Leviathan. These are in the Mediterranean Sea. They're fixed targets. They're also highly explosive. Let's give them, Israel, an even bigger explosion than they gave us in Hodeidah. And so they're easy hits, but they're very strategic too, because this hits at Israel's energy independence, but also it threatens normalization. Both Egypt and Jordan, long-time normalization states with Israel, receive energy exports or imports from Israel. So what does that do? It shatters that. And then don't forget, Israel has been wanting to thrust itself into the Eastern Mediterranean paradigm, but like how the Eastern Mediterranean will become the future energy hub for transportation of gas from West Asia, the Mediterranean, to Europe.
I didn't realize they already had 3 operating gas platforms. So how do you protect them forever? Not only do you protect them for the next 6 months, how do you protect them forever from Israel's enemies? What do? Do you just fucking nuke everyone around the fucking Middle East? Like, do you kill, like, how many nukes do you send out? Yemen, fucking Lebanon, Lebanon's like literally across the street from fucking Israel. What do you do? What do you do? How do you defend this shit? They have kicked over a hornet's nest so many fucking times that now, things are coming to a head. And how will America defend these fixed assets, these natural gas platforms? And the chick says these natural gas platforms would sell natural gas to Egypt and Jordan, but there isn't that much money in that, right? Egypt and Jordan are shitty fucking economies. They're trying to connect their gas platform to the ones that are coming out of Cyprus and there's going through Greece into Europe, because the Europeans have all the money, and Israel wants to sell Europe cooking gas and heating gas, right? They want to get in. Once again, let's make money off the goy. The goy have the money. Let's sell the goy what they need that they can't live without. But if Yemen blows up the gas platforms, well, that's going to be a problem. And if they don't get it this time, you can just sail a boat right up. Fucking, like, do you understand? They could just fill a boat full of dynamite, sail it up to the gas platform, hit the fucking button, and you have to stay 24 hours, 24/7 with fucking an American fucking carrier fucking battle group circling around these fucking things to keep them safe. 24/7, 365. And never make a mistake. Is that likely to happen? And what will that cost us in terms of manpower, in terms of everything else? Can we project that power? Can we ignore China to run to this fucking stupidity that Israel's fucking kicking off, and hold that down forever? The Lebanese are never going to forget. The Yemenis are never going to forget. Nobody over there is going to forget. Iran is never going to forget. Or you're going to kill everyone in all 3 of those countries. Do you really think you can do that? Like, do you think that you're going to, like, how does this work, right? And all this dumb shit that they've been doing, like, you remember that fucking Nord Stream 2, the Russian gas pipeline that America blew up? They're like, why did America blow up the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline? Well, you know why now, right? Israel doesn't want Russia to sell natural gas to Europe. Israel wants to sell natural gas to Europe. So they get the U.S. Navy to blow up the Russian pipeline. And what does Russia do? Russia doesn't do fucking shit, because Russia is incapable of doing shit. It shuts up and it fucking takes it. Now, why doesn't Russia build up its own country? Because they're scumbags. Because they're parasitical scumbags. And what mask they wear? I'm a communist. I'm a technocrat. I'm a this. I don't fucking give a shit. You're a do-nothing parasitical scumbag, right? And it's easier to just extract wealth from someone else than to actually build the fucking shit that would generate wealth where you live. Because in theory, if your own population became wealthy and well-educated, then they challenge your fucking power, and you're not going to let that fucking happen. And that's the situation around the fucking world, okay? And all of it propped up by the money printer. All of it propped up by the fucking money printer. And the pop culture, they've fucking lost. This is why I really think this shit is slipping out of their hands like crazy. And I think it's going to continue. This kid, he's a comedian. He's from Romania. It's a Romanian stand-up comic. Who even thought such a thing would exist? But it's a Romanian stand-up comic. And in terms of this thing spreading everywhere, this is a dude doing stand-up comedy in Romania. You understand? This is Romania.
When did you stop believing in God?
I didn't.
You did? You still believe? You're sending money back for the $1 billion church in Bucharest?
I believe just for the sake of it, but I haven't been to church since.
So you believe just in case. This is your... God is my Bitcoin. That's my... I put €1,000 in there just in case. I don't... it's €1,000. If it goes up, it goes up. If not, if I get cancer, I can go back and say, hey man, remember me?
Right? Think about that fucking reach. Think about the reach of what we have. Think about how fucking disgusted people are, working all fucking day, every day, and getting fucking nowhere, and having less than their parents had. Judas Lychai, victory belongs to Israel in this world and the next. Man, you were smoking some primo shit. Primo. That is awesome. Tried that 21st century shaping up to rhyme with the 20th century. Communist rally in Philly and DC. Marches in the same. It's like we can't get creative enough to find a new way. There is America. Listen to me. Trad that. Listen to me. Listen. Use your fucking ears. America is a communist country. It is the richest communist country, but it is a communist country because it is a central bank. The fifth plank of the Communist Manifesto is that centralized control of all money and credit is necessary for the implementation of communism. Now that there are people running around waving comic flags thinking, oh, real communism hasn't been tried yet. They're just stupid. They're really just, they literally can't see what's in front of their face. It's like when rich white liberals go into the ghetto, they can't see the criminality around them. They're like, no, it's not like, they're not black criminals. They're criminals that just happen to be black. They're victims of racism. I think that STF Hugh James dropped an N-bomb while he was on the highway, and that's why this 15-year-old kid went and held up a liquor store. No, the 15-year-old kid went and held up a liquor store because he's a fucking thief, not because the magical waves of my, wrong think, caused a fucking an innocent engineer to become a stick-up artist. That's not how it works. There's levels and levels and levels of delusions, all sorts of delusions. You make up bullshit, complex fucking reasons why this is this way and why that's that way. None of it's that way. Listen to me. None of it's that. None of this shit is fucking real. What is real, what matters, what is concrete and drives events is, what are you going to give me for doing this, right? And when you look at stuff, when you look at the Middle East, those people have been fucked over forever, and they're like, okay, now we're gonna fight. You know what I mean? It's they tried everything. They bent over backwards 1,000 fucking times, and now they're gonna fight. And I don't think. What I think is that Israel figures it can't lose because it can just draw on endless American resources. but America's resources are not endless, you know, and I don't think we can do that. I do not think we can do that. Judas Fletchai in the chat. Judas on fire. Jimmy on fire tonight. Wish the chat was more lively. Yeah, I wish it was too. But other people will come. They will get here. Like I said, Culture Thug on Rumble streams every Friday night, 6 p.m. Western Standard Time. Yeah, Pacific Standard Time. So that would be like 9 o'clock in the East Coast. So go to Rumble, RUMBL, and you can find Culture Thug and subscribe to him there for content. Not exactly like this, but I plan on getting in touch with him and doing some streams. I guess I'll be on the road at the time, but and I'm not 100% familiar with Rumble and how it works, but it should be fun because it's someone Culture Thug in particular. And the reason why I was thinking about him, okay, let's go into Culture Thug is one of the few guys that is aware of elite power, who is not mentally ill and who is a streetwise guy. He, everybody knows he was in prison twice, so he's a fucking streetwise guy. All right, and what I did was, there was the thing I did with Duvid a million years ago. I don't know that I'm friends with him, but I've streamed with him a couple of times on Norvin's channel back in the day, before I realized that Norvin was a fucking Fed. You know, when I was still sort of naively trusting things. And a couple of times, Culture Thug was on because he had a big YouTube channel at the time, and he's streaming with Norvin, and Norvin shot me a link, and me and him were talking. And he's a smart guy. He's a well-read guy. He's good at conversation. And he and I were sort of getting along. Right. Judas Fletchai, I met CT once on OVs, met that Britney girl the same night also. Yeah. So what happened was Norvin dragged me onto that Politically Provoked, which I think is actually, they're still producing content, but it's a federal program, so whatever. They're just funded to do shit. They can do crap forever. And from that stream, I don't know if people saw it, it was like a 5-hour stream. Norvin comes over, or how did it work? I'd come home early, like I only worked 10 hours that day. I was drinking a little bit, and Norvin shoots me a link. I'm like sitting here alone. This is my exciting, happy life. At the time, I was like drinking alone in my apartment, right? Norvin shoots me a link, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go on the stream. So I'm just streaming with Norman, blah, 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 like 90 minutes. But they're all doing something like this, all the subtext. He's on his phone, he's doing something, sending messages back and forth to the Britney chick. And he says, oh, we're going over to Britney's channel. And I'm like, whatever. Like, now I'm like, you know, not drunk, but like half in the bag. And they sent me another link, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll go on. Well, I didn't realize that was a stream that had started literally 3 hours earlier. Norvin brings me and that guy Marshall, who's, well, there was some kind of spook from fucking Australia, onto the stream. And there was a dude, some skinny red-haired Jew, who thought he was like a great debate artist. And he's like, oh, I want to debate Norvin. No, and Duvid was there. They bring me on, and I'm like, now I'm fucking, like I said, moderately deep in my fucking cups. And I'm like, I see Duvid, and I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Let's roll. And for the next hour, I just fucking destroyed these fucking guys. And I was funny as fuck. I was like screamingly fucking funny. But in the first few minutes, Brittany knew who I was. She was like, oh, James, oh, we heard so much about you. It's so good to have you here. We've heard so much about you. And I didn't even think about it at the time. But I remember doing the stream, and for years I thought, well, I should fucking, they might erase that. So I wanted to capture it forever. And that's why I bought this USB stick. So I downloaded the whole 5-hour stream, and I edited it down to like the 1 hour where I was on a few minutes before. And I think just about till I logged off, I went off. But I wanted to keep it forever where it couldn't be scrubbed from the internet. I want to have a hard copy, so to speak. So I did that and a couple other things. And I watched the stream a couple of times again. And now it's been a few years since I've done it. And I'm listening to it's entirely different when you hear it over and over again, because I kind of know what I'm going to say. It's not a surprise to me. I'm like, wait a minute, why did they say that right there? Why did this one say this right there? And I have that clip. Judas Light Chai, okay, you want to find the clip, here's what you do. Go on YouTube search, Google's Most Wanted Frog. That's the name of the channel, right? Google's Most Wanted Frog. It's got like 10 subscribers. It's a backup channel I have, and the clip is on there. I thought you saw it already. It's a whatever. It's a rerun, but it's a good one. So YouTube, Google's Most Wanted Frog channel, and then you'll see there's only one video up there. But I in order to get that video onto this fucking device, I had to download it onto my phone, upload it onto because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, or it can't be done the way I want it to be done. I had to download the whole video, edit it on my phone on the video editor, then upload it to YouTube, and then fucking download it again onto the hard drive of this phone again, and then put it on the USB drive. It seems like there's too many steps, but I couldn't find the right fucking controls, on the editor. I'm like, why can't I save this, or why can't I move this here? Just wouldn't work. So I had to do these extra steps. But ultimately, I accomplished my goal, which was take that hour-long-ish appearance on that Fed platform. And it was 100% Fed platform. They had Fuentes, they had Richard Spencer, they had God knows how many other fucking chuckleheads multiple times, right? And there's a chick, that Brittany chick. She's a blonde-haired Jewish girl. She's pretty. She's got the K's are milkers, and her co-host is a black dude who you never see. And like I said, Norman's there, Fuentes, the popular, the big shot fucking gay CIA fucking guys. But I went there and I fucking destroyed them, man. That was fucking legendary. The more I thought about it, I was like, I don't want that to ever be erased from this world. I want people to see that 50 years from now. So that's why I saved it. But like I said, in listening to it all over again, the first 2 minutes, the first 5 minutes, the first 7 minutes. Okay, from that video, I think I come on at like the 7-minute mark. I did a quick and sloppy editing. Like I said, I did it on the phone with a super simple editor that I didn't understand how it worked. I had to do it a couple of times. And then I'm like, well, why did this chick know who I was? And after that appearance, when I was still on Twitter, she was like, oh, you're the king, your content's the best, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, wow, what a weird fucking kind of come on. Like, I was like, not that it was a come on, but it was like a super flattering. I'm like, that's weird, and I was DMing her back and forth. I don't even know if I was really DMing her or someone else, but at some point after Norvin had me go on Patrick Bateman's channel, and I fucking listen. Patrick Bateman's a junkie from Staten Island. I just fucking happened to cross paths on the fucking internet, and Norvin was like, "Oh, here's a link," and I thought it was going on Norvin's channel. I'm going on Bateman's channel, and I realized like I'm getting pimped out, right? Like the type of anti-Semitic content I put out for a just like I say in the chat is like not lively. Those chats have got much more people in them. And someone like me, I say shit that's exciting. It gets people, fucking wound up. And that's what the feds want. They want you in an emotionally excited state. So you do a terrorism or you do a racism or you commit a hate crime or something, and they can put you away in federal charges. That's the whole fucking point of these streams and this provocation. And I'm being led by the fucking nose like a fucking jerk onto channels and that I don't want to be on. And so I was like, I'm not fucking doing this, And I got pissed off, that I didn't see that Norvin was what he is, which is a Fed. And I just cut everybody off. And I didn't think much of it until, and I just like, for me, I'm like, listen, I'm fucking nobody. I'm a dude who fucking drives fucking cardboard boxes from fucking New Jersey to fucking Massachusetts on a Sunday night in the fucking rain. Who the fuck could possibly give a shit about me? But if you're in federal law enforcement and you're trying to catch a terrorist, you know what I mean? You got to make them. You have to create them. And they hear somebody like me, they're like, oh, you know, if we can just get this guy to go that much further, you know, we can get a news headline and justify our budget for the year and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's how they're thinking. Because they're sitting there doing nothing all day. Fucking Fed cops ain't doing nothing. Dress up like Patriot Front or whatever. You know, that's their big fucking adventure for the year. So if they can drag somebody like me into doing something stupid, you know, that's a headline for them. That's a win in federal court for them. That's fucking brown nosing their bosses. And I said, well, I cut everybody off on, you know, no Norvin, no Brittany, no this, no that. Then I got kicked off of Twitter anyway. Like, okay, that's all done. There's no more to this. Like, it's over. And then, in a weird roundabout way that fate sometimes goes, my sister, who I don't have a good relationship with, has a problem with one of her grandchildren. She does like a DNA test because she thinks she's going to be like a medical detective and solve this health issue for one of her grandchildren. And she ends up calling me back and forth, back and forth. Somebody out of the blue matches with her as a half brother, which in theory would be my half brother. And this guy was talking not to me directly at first, was talking to my nieces and blah, 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 blah. And he comes off like, oh, shucks, I don't know. I took this DNA test and, you know, all of a sudden I'm matching these other people and I'm just wondering, hey, what's going on? And I don't disturb nobody or interrupt your life, but hey, what's up? Like, are we related? And it seems innocent enough. I guess that stuff happens with the DNA test shit. But eventually one of my nieces gives me this guy's phone number. I talk to this guy for a bit. And all I did was tell him personal shit, like family history shit from like fucking, I'm 59, from like fucking 50, literally like 50 years ago, 45 years ago. Like, it's whatever. It's nothing. It's like, it's nothing. I did mention I did some political extremist shit. And this guy says, oh yeah, I used to work in federal law enforcement on a gang task force in the South. And I thought that was hilarious. Like, I was like, oh crap, I'm related to a Fed cop. And I even streamed about it. I said, how funny is that I'm related to a Fed? And like, just like a dummy, like my fucking self-preservation instinct just did not kick in, you know? And when I talked to my sister, she's like, hey, this guy says this to this one. He says that to that one, and blah, 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 blah. And my sister is as fucked up a human being as you will ever fucking meet. She's a sociopath and a congenital liar and a fucking loon. But one, she's still my kid sister. Two, she's not always wrong. And she was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's not acting right. He's not saying the right things. And then it started to kick in. I was like, wait a minute, what if this fucking has to do with this guy's a Fed cop? I went to Charlottesville. I'm on video. I've done fucking all these streams, OV, all this other shit, Brittany. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, was this fucking guy kind of circling around trying to get to me through a DNA test? Because they know it's all bullshit. I know it's all bullshit. And my sister was like, no, it can't possibly be about you. You're nothing, because she's a sociopath. It's all about me and my grandchildren. I'm like, what the fuck? That has nothing to do with anything. But she said, stop talking to the guy. Don't talk to the guy. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, fine. You know, it's my kid sister. She feels like this threatens her family. So cut the guy off. I blocked him on Facebook, blocked his phone number. Blocked. Okay. And then my sister starts getting into some shit. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I'm blocking her too. She still has my phone number. She really needs to reach me. She can reach me, but she does, unless I can produce something of value for her. She. But that's just a reality. That's a lot of families like that. But since then, I've thought, fuck, this guy. They try to put a fucking Fed right near me. Like, that's the way I think about it. And at first I thought, well, that's a crazy thought because I am such a fucking nobody and a nothing. Like, why would they waste that amount of resources? But then I'm like, why did Norman do this? He dragged me out to the street, put me by Brittany, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, it's not a coincidence. It's not a fucking coincidence. Because these guys are looking to put points in the board. They don't give a fuck who they do it with. And if they could grab somebody like me, it'd be fucking perfect. It would be ideal for them. But they've failed multiple times and they will fail again in the future. Because now, fucking the alarm bells have gone off my fucking head. And my guard is up. But it wasn't for a very long time. And understanding that most federal law enforcement, like, again, with the shitty Patriot Front reruns and their fucking Nazi flags in the middle of Nashville and all that dumb shit I showed, like they're just going to keep doing this until it works. And the reason why is because there's no consequence for failure, and they still get a paycheck anyway. And the ability to shut that off is the real fucking ability. And that's all, that the ability to shut that off financially. So there's no more paychecks in this ever, right? And we fucking take your house and your bank account. We take their house and their fucking bank account, or it's filled with worthless shit. That's my fucking dream, right? And that happens not by using their money, but by doing an entirely different economic fucking concept, which is proof of work. If you want something of value, you have to exchange something of value. And that's something most people don't want to do. They just want to rearrange the deck chairs in the Titanic so them and their buddies are on top. Good luck with that, because the ones that are on top are going to stay on top until the whole thing topples over. That's my fucking worldview, and that's why I tell people, listen, instead of saving like Judas Fly Chai is probably spending fucking in a mansion in fucking the hills of California overlooking the lights of LA with a fucking bong that has fucking neon lights going around it, you know what I mean? And probably his Uber Eats fucking programmed into the fucking base of the fucking bong so he can just order his favorite fucking tacos directly from, hit the bong, hit the fucking taco button. Before you know it, the guy's at the door. But, and if you're up at that level, that's, listen, lucky you. You're born there, you're in a lucky spot. But for everyone else, like me, who has to work to produce enough value to keep a roof over my head, to buy shit to fucking drink, the fact that storing the value of my wealth in dollars is a bad fucking idea, has been a bad idea my whole life. And the more I store the value of my fucking labor in Bitcoin, the better I have done. I'm in a much stronger financial position today than I was 2 or 3 years ago. Much stronger. Why? Because the number go up. The dollar's getting weaker. Everything else is getting stronger. In particular, Bitcoin's getting stronger. So that's where I shift my focus. And I understand that the future is going to be based on something strong and durable, not something that the Jews are going to hyperinflate anyway. Modernity is hell on relationships. Yes and no. At the end of the day, listen, Trad Dad, you got to know what you want out of the relationship, right? Judas Light Chai complains about this. Why do women do this? Why do women do that? Judas Light Chai, you're not dating all women. You need to go out, right, to where women are around your fucking age. You have to flirt with them, and you have to fucking tease them, and you have to not respond when they shit test you. And that's a skill set. That's a social skill set that you don't have, that you need to develop, right? No one can sell it to you. You're not going to buy it with a fucking bottle of cologne or a fancy watch or any of the fucking bullshit things. Because, a woman will see that and go, oh, look, I can extract material possessions from this guy relatively easy. He's soft and weak, but she's never gonna respect you, and she's gonna end up screwing the fucking tennis pro or fucking whatever personal trainer. You got to have a direction in life that you're going in no matter what. I have, right? Which is destroy central bank. You got to have a sense of humor. You got to be fun to be around. Because women, like anything else, they want to be entertained, and you have to be unconcerned with other people's opinion. those things are fucking key. That's being based. And that's what you know, if you're not doing that, you're doing all these complex excuses and fucking bullshit rationalizations for why you didn't do it. And because you didn't do it, you know, it's not your fucking fault, and there's no point in doing it anyway. You know, you got to go out there and you got to fight, and sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to fucking lose. Sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose, and you got to shrug it off, get back up and fucking, and you know, try again. Trad Dad, Ivy League grooms each other's class replacement within finance, government, industry. They did until they were destroyed by the Jews. I'm talking about family, personal relationships. In the era of self-indulgence, has everyone in their own world and willingly programmed with an ideology. The ideology is bullshit because it's what you can afford to believe. Like, I cannot afford to believe. Perfect fucking example. I was thinking about this the last couple of days. Everything they want you to believe is scarce is plentiful, right? Energy is scarce. Peak oil. Oh my God, you remember peak oil in the 90s? We're going to run out of oil. Everything they want you to believe is scarce is plentiful, right? China has 3 times the electricity we have. Why? Because it's easy to produce if you just fucking make nuclear power plants. But in America, oh no, we're going to have the wind turbines. We're going to worry about the temperature of the planet, all these lies, all this bullshit. Energy is bursting. This fucking planet is literally bursting at the fucking seams with energy. And what are we doing? We're restricting it, and keeping an artificially high price on it so that a very small elite can become super rich and everyone else is too busy fucking working hard to fucking notice, right? And that's why Israel wants to sell its natural gas to Europe, because Europe is rich relative to Egypt, the Sudan, Lebanon, and all the rest. Instead of Israel going, hey, look, we got this natural resource, we got this gas, we can make gas-powered everything, gas-powered truck, gas-powered this. We can build up our own country. We can trade with our fucking neighbors. Everyone can be rich and fucking happy. Everyone can have an air conditioner in this fucking brutal Middle Eastern heat, and life can be grand. But they won't fucking do that. They want to kill all their neighbors, take all their fucking shit, and then sell fucking gas to the white people far away to fucking finance their do-nothing lifestyle. Why do they make that choice? Ask yourself, why did they make that choice? Because it's easier than doing the fucking work. Work is hard. It sucks. Nobody wants to clean toilets or fucking fill potholes or put up fucking buildings or dig ditches in the hot sun. It fucking sucks. Okay? And you don't want to do it. And you think what a genius you are because you were born in a position where you don't have to fucking do it. But guess what? It never gets done until you fucking pay people. The reason why China, right, outstrips us is because they had people who had fucking nothing. Arguably, they had nothing. And the Chinese government said, we're going to give you these pieces of paper with a picture of Mao Zedong on it, and you can buy a house and shit for your wife and kids, and you can fucking buy fucking food, and you can have a better life if you take these pictures of Mao Zedong on a piece of paper in exchange for building that fucking railroad. And the Chinese, once they seen that the system worked, they just did it. It just fucking worked. We're not doing that anymore. People are being lied to. They're being conned. The fucking Uber is a con. Fucking all this stuff. Airbnb, all these fucking things are all a con. It's all about extracting fucking wealth from the bottom up to the fucking top. It's so fucking obvious once you learn to see it. But when you still think of, this is a communist, this is a fascist, this is a Republican, that's all bullshit. It's all 100% bullshit. And your mind will change that fast when you become starving and fucking homeless. And since you think starvation and homelessness is far away from you, and maybe it may be far away, but for other people, it's not that far away. And they don't give a fuck what you say. And you better keep a good distance from them, because they will fucking choke you out like Patty Pimblett choked out that fucking king. You come in doing your, looks like my big fucking roll, and I'm going to jump up and I'm going to roar, and they're going to knock you the fuck down and choke you out like this, because they don't give a fuck about your ideology. They understand that the world of material fucking wealth is a power struggle. And if they can fucking take it from you, they will, because that's easier than starting a whole new economic system. So what we're doing, Bitcoiners are doing, is much, much bigger and much more important than you think it is. You keep thinking, oh, I don't give a fuck what you think. I really don't fucking care. At the end of the day, I don't care. This has worked for me, and I'm a nobody with fucking nothing, right? It has worked extremely well for me, and it will continue to work extremely well for me because Donald Trump is now licking our fucking boots, right? There's fucking Bitcoiners in the fucking White House. Nobody who thinks the dumbass fucking shit you fucking think is anywhere near fucking political. And we're going to fucking eat them up, and we're going to fucking destroy them. And who's going to help us? The fucking money printer itself. The money printer itself is going to fucking help us. They're going to bleed themselves out, and we're going to be the last fucking man standing. This is the truth.
I find it absolutely hilarious when people are like, Trump versus Biden, or this person versus... I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. They're not the people who make the decisions anyways. Yeah. It's the people who control the money. Yeah. And the people who control the money are the central banks. Yeah. And guess who owns the central banks? Because it's not the government.
Your government exists to keep the elites elite. And they're going to bleed themselves out. And someone else is going to have to be there. That's going to be us. That's going to be us. It's not going to be you. You're going to put a picture of Adolf Hitler on a piece of paper and expect people to work 12-hour days in the hot sun for that. Brown-skinned people in particular, I don't think so. You expect you're going to have an ethno-state with just white people, and white people, there's going to be a whole cadre of fucking white people who are just so happy to clean public fucking toilets for you and the parasite class, the new parasite class. No, man, this thing is going to change. I don't know when it's going to change, but we're growing stronger and everything else is growing weaker. And this intractable problem in the Middle East and this unthinkable problem in the Far East with China getting stronger is indicative of what the future is going to be. Neither one of these problems, neither one of these issues is going to go away. Everything you see in the short term is all bullshit and distractions. Keep your eye on what's happening in the Mediterranean Sea, and keep your eye on what's happening in China and what's being said, because you're not going to be told the truth. But depending on what you hear and when you hear it, that's what fear is driving things. And the more it seems like America's winning, the more we're going to be fucking losing. Holy shit, I'm going almost 2 hours. 2 hours. Trend there. That's been my phrase for the last year. Elites have been extracting wealth from us, now transferring it to NONs, nons as a virtue. They're not giving them that much. They're largely keeping it for themselves. They didn't get to where they are by fucking being generous and open-handed. That's not how they got to where they are. 2024, I've dubbed every trick in the book. Yeah, it's the same tricks over and over. It's the same tricks over and over. And once you understand them, you can just ignore them. Adults don't believe that. No one here is 20 years old worshiping Hitler or Jackson. I used Hitler or Jackson. Who's Jackson? Who's Jackson? Andrew Jackson? Jesse Jackson? I used that as a fucking straw man, as a rhetorical fucking argument. A strong individual who will come and lead us to a bright future. That's just not how it works. No, like the guy that runs China, nobody gives a fuck about him. All they care about is their fucking paychecks. They'll get up there and they'll give lip service. Zheng Xing Pao, Xing Zheng Chung Chang Chu Cha Chao, Shisha Shusha Shao. Yeah, hooray, hooray, Communist Party. But if they can't buy a loaf of bread, whatever, if they don't eat bread, they can't buy a cup of rice and some fucking noodles. They don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? You will pay lip service to what you need to pay lip service to, as long as it works for you. But when it stops working for you, all that shit falls apart. So most everything that people believe, you believe because you can afford to believe it. Like white liberals can afford to believe that blacks are oppressed. You know what I mean? That's not really true. You know what I mean? But they can afford to believe it because they don't have any contact with them, and their lifestyle is not affected by the behaviors of the people in zip codes which have a high concentration of blacks and Hispanics. They're just not affected by that. So they can believe whatever they want about that world. It doesn't change anything. But as soon as those two worlds come into contact, well, that's when your illusions get fucking burst real fast. Tread that DEI, ESG remains initiatives. Nonetheless, they're all dying as fast as they can fucking die. They're dying as fast as they can die. Again, because China's going to eat our fucking lunch. But you'll see that. You will see that. Listen, I'm not going to waste an enormous amount of time and effort trying to convince you. You see it or you won't see it. You believe what you want to believe. Rock on. You store your wealth in the green pieces of paper that the Jews promise you will be worth something tomorrow. Good luck with that. I'm not doing that anymore. But you rock on with that, and you know, best of fucking luck. I'm looking towards a brighter future that does not have a kosher elite at the top. You are dreaming of a magical superhero who's going to change everything, but really change nothing. Again, best of luck with that. You, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Adolf Hitler, you know, rock on. But I got things I got to do, which is turn fiat into Bitcoin. I have to turn their shit money into real money. That's what I got to do, and that's what I've dedicated my life to, and it's worked out pretty well. Anyway, 2 fucking hours. 2 hours I'm ranting like a fucking loon. That's a lot. It's a long stream, but I had a lot of stuff to cover. So Trad Dad, Judas Light Chai, Virgil Dark Purple Heart, everybody who's in the chat, the lurkers, the stream snipers, and everyone who's going to watch in the coming week, make sure, what are we going to make sure of? We're going to make sure to smash up the like button. If you've been here all this time, listen to the rants, the highs, the lows, watch the videos, seen the screen shares, the least you can do is smash up the like button. Anyway, with that, I'm going to tell you guys good night, because I gotta go deliver boxes tomorrow. And I'll talk to you guys again next week.